Hello, mystery lovers. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're venturing into South Africa, home to some of the oldest human fossils ever discovered, dating back over 2 million years. It's no wonder this ancient land is also steeped in ghostly tales and eerie legends. From ancient castles to ghost towns and eerie hospitals, these places hold chilling secrets waiting to be uncovered. Let's dive into the spine-tingling tales of South Africa's most haunted locations. 5. The Castle of Good Hope, Cape Town. Built in the 17th century, this fortress has seen countless lives and deaths within its walls. One of the castle's most tragic spirits is that of a young soldier who fell in love with the governor's daughter. Forbidden from being with her, he was locked in the dungeon. Desperate and heartbroken, he took his own life. To this day, his anguished cries for his lost love can be heard echoing through the castle at night, and some have even seen his ghost pacing the ramparts, clutching a letter that he never got to deliver. Lady Anne Barnard, the socialite of her time, still haunts the castle's grand ballroom. But she's not the only spirit lingering in these halls. During a renovation in the 19th century, a gruesome discovery was made. A man's body bricked up in one of the walls. It's believed he was a prisoner who tried to escape but met a grim fate. His spirit, angry and restless, is said to roam the corridors, his footsteps heavy and filled with vengeance. Visitors to the castle have also reported seeing the ghost of a tall man dressed in military uniform. This spirit is believed to be that of a Dutch soldier who was executed on the castle grounds. His face is often contorted in agony, and those who have seen him say his eyes seem to follow them, filled with sorrow and rage. In the bell tower, the spirit of a hanged soldier is known to ring the bell at odd hours, even though the bell hasn't been in use for years. Some say he's warning of impending doom, while others believe he's simply trapped in the moment of his death, reliving it over and over again. 4. Smuts House, Irene. The former home of South African statesman Jan Smuts is a place where history and the supernatural collide. The most eerie presence at Smuts House is that of a colonial-era farmer, believed to be a former owner of the land. He's been seen wandering the gardens, muttering to himself in an old Dutch dialect, searching for something or someone that he never finds. His appearances are often accompanied by the smell of freshly turned earth, as if he's still working the land. One evening, Lady Izzy Smuts reported seeing the ghost of a woman in the garden, dressed in a flowing white dress, her face hidden behind a veil. This woman is believed to be the wife of the old farmer, mourning the loss of a child buried somewhere on the property. The ghostly figure has been seen kneeling by a small, unmarked grave, her soft sobs carried on the wind. Visitors to Smuts House have also spoken of a spectral cat that roams the grounds. This ghostly feline has been seen slipping through walls and disappearing into thin air. Some say it's the spirit of a beloved pet, while others believe it's an omen of something darker. Those who have tried to follow the cat often find themselves lost, as if the house itself is shifting, playing tricks on the living. The house's most famous ghostly inhabitant, however, is a soldier from the Boer War. He's been seen in the guest bedroom sitting at the edge of the bed, his head in his hands. Those who've encountered him describe a deep feeling of sorrow and regret, as if the soldier is forever mourning a battle he couldn't win. Some guests have even awoken to find the imprint of his body on the bed, as if he'd been sitting there watching over them as they slept. 3. Matjiesfontein. It is a village that seems to have stepped out of another time, with its Victorian architecture and eerie stillness. The most famous ghost in Matjiesfontein is Nurse Kate, who expired during the South African War. But it's not just her presence that haunts the hotel. In the hotel's bar, the ghost of James Logan, the village founder, is said to make his presence known. He's often seen sitting at the bar, nursing a drink, only to vanish when approached. The sound of clinking glasses and murmured conversations have been heard late at night. long after the bar has closed, as if Logan and his ghostly patrons are still reliving their days in the town. One of the more bizarre hauntings involves a ghostly carriage that has been seen and heard speeding through the village streets. Witnesses describe the sound of hooves and the sight of a black carriage drawn by spectral horses racing through the misty streets before disappearing into the night. This carriage is believed to be carrying the spirits of those who expired in the village during a smallpox outbreak, doomed to forever roam the town. Another chilling tale from Matjiesfontein is the story of a young bride who drowned in the village's river. Her ghost is said to wander the riverbanks, her wedding dress tattered and wet, her face pale and tear-streaked. Those who've encountered her speak of an overwhelming feeling of sadness and a cold chill that lingers long after she has vanished. Some even claim to have heard her sobbing late at night, her voice carried on the wind as she searches for her lost groom. The village's railway station is also home to a ghostly figure, a man who paces the platform, waiting for a train that never comes. This spirit, dressed in old-fashioned clothes, is believed to be a soldier who was left behind when his regiment moved on, and now he waits, forever stranded in time. 2. Kempton Park Hospital. It is more than just an abandoned building. It's a place where the walls seem to whisper secrets, and the air is thick with the presence of those who've never left. One of the most unnerving stories from Kempton Park Hospital involves the ghost of a doctor who is said to have continued his rounds long after his death. This spectral physician is seen wandering the corridors, his footsteps echoing in the empty hallways. He's often seen checking in on rooms that are long empty, as if still tending to patients who no longer exist. Some have even claimed to hear the sound of medical equipment being used, though the rooms are deserted. The psychiatric ward is particularly notorious for its paranormal activity. The spirit of a former patient, known only as the Screamer, is said to haunt this area. Visitors have reported hearing blood-curdling screams coming from the ward, only to find it empty upon investigation. Some believe the Screamer was a patient who suffered terribly before their death, and now their tortured soul remains trapped within the hospital's decaying walls. In the morgue, the presence of death is palpable. Visitors have reported hearing the sound of metal gurneys being wheeled down the corridors, and some have even seen ghostly figures lying on the slabs, covered in sheets. One security guard who worked the night shift reported seeing a body sit up on one of the gurneys, only to lie back down when he approached. He quit his job the next day, unable to shake the image from his mind. 1. Karoo National Park. The vast and desolate Karoo National Park is not just a place of natural beauty, it's a landscape filled with eerie legends and ghostly encounters. The most famous tale from the Karoo is that of the water ghost, a spectral figure that haunts a deep pool in the park. But it's not just livestock that this ghost lures to their deaths. There are tales of travelers who have been drawn to the water, never to be seen again. One such story tells of a young couple who disappeared while camping near the pool. Their belongings were found untouched, but there was no sign of them. Some believe they were victims of the water ghost, their souls now trapped beneath the water. The park is also home to mysterious lights that appear on the horizon at night, known as spook lights. These glowing orbs move erratically across the landscape, sometimes hovering close to the ground before shooting up into the sky. Scientists have tried to explain the phenomenon, but locals believe they are the spirits of those who expired in the harsh conditions of the Karoo, forever wandering the barren land. A group of researchers who attempted to study the lights reported feeling a strange presence watching them, and their equipment malfunctioned every time they tried to record the phenomenon. In addition to the ghostly lights, the Karoo is said to be haunted by the spirits of ancient hunters who once roamed the land. Hikers have reported hearing the sound of drums and chanting in the distance, only to find the landscape deserted. Some have even seen ghostly figures dressed in traditional attire moving silently through the scrubland. These apparitions are believed to be the spirits of the Sand People, who lived in the Karoo long before it became a national park. The park's eerie reputation is furthered by the presence of unmarked graves scattered throughout the area. These graves are believed to belong to early settlers and travelers who perished in the harsh environment. Visitors who stumble upon these graves often report feeling an overwhelming sense of dread and unease, as if the spirits of the dead are watching them. Today's mystery ends here. Which country do you want to watch videos about haunted places? You can share your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. You could watch this video to know Philippines' 5 most haunted places. Thanks for staying with us.